What is up, friends and fellow freaks out there? Thanks for tuning in. I know it's been forever and a day since I put out my last video. Um, Not that that nothing has happened. It's just the way it's been. Obviously, the last year and a half has been a challenge for all of us. Um, but 2020 was a challenge. But to be honest with you, it didn't suck as bad as it could have. Um, you know, yeah, I mean it was a burden, but I got some really cool things accomplished. We held the mega tour, the mega mini tour for Fear Not the Clot, my nonprofit foundation. It was supposed to be a big group tour, mountain bike tour, but with COVID coming in, putting a kibosh on big gatherings, it ended up just being my son and myself. But we left here. We left North Texas, and drove to Paladero Canyon and rode. And from Paladero, we went up to Angel Fire and rode a couple of days at Angel Fire, and hit South Boundary. Damn fly, get away! Hit South Boundary while we were out there, which was awesome. And then we left there and went to Durango, Colorado, and rode a couple of days of Purgatory, which that place is awesome. It was such a fun park. And we left there and went to Moab, rode the whole enchilada, which was phenomenal. Um, Rolled out of Moab and went to the other side of Utah and rode the Brian Head Bike Park. That wasn't that cool, but it was cool to go. Um, and then on the way back, we stopped in Sedona and spent a day riding in Sedona. So that was really cool. Um, and last December, my signature model guitar came out, which the video is out from the day I went to pick it up. So that was cool. Some cool things happened. And you know, I ended up building a new bike very recently. Oh yeah, by the way, we got a new house. You can tell there's a different backdrop from the rest of my other videos. We got a bigger house. And I'm on the porch, and it's cool. Yeah, I built up a new bike, and it's this green thing right here. Transition Patrol, and Transition just makes an incredible bike. And I've been really wanting to build one of these for a long time. And I finished it on June 21st. It was a Monday. It was when I got the last part. Um, I got it was the grips. That was all I was waiting for. But I put it together and I rode it that day. It was like, yes, I finally got the bike together. And the following Wednesday, 2 days later, the 23rd of June, we loaded up. My son and I loaded up the vehicle. Oh, and I got a new car too. I got an Infiniti QX56. It's not new, but it's huge and it's awesome, and it gets terrible gas mileage. But anyway, we loaded up. Everything. We were going to spend several days up in Angel Fire. We had the tent easy up and everything. The bikes were on the back, and man, we were going to give it the beans, and we rolled out. And 20 minutes from home, sitting at a red light, the dude that was in the lane behind us, you know where this is going. Dude never even slowed down, and he rear-ended us hard. Like I literally watched him in my mirror. I saw him coming, and I knew he wasn't going to stop. And so I just anyway destroyed the bikes. Yes, 2 days. 2 days after I finished mine, destroyed my son's bike. Literally snapped the rack. Oh, you can't see it, but it's over there. Literally snapped it right off the hitch. Demolished the back end of my vehicle that I just bought 2 months ago. And it sucked. It sucked real bad. And that's one of those things that you're like, well, what can I do, man? I mean, the other guy was blatantly at fault. So insurance is. I'll have my vehicle back in probably a few days. The shop just called me Friday, I think. So yeah, I'll have my vehicle back. Insurance is a little slow with the bikes, but my attorney and the insurance adjuster said that yes, they're covered. under the property damage provision, which is cool. So it may not be overnight, but they're supposed to be covered. And the rack, of course. The part that sucks, though, right? The part that sucks the worst is when he hit us. You know, I was like this, and I was watching in the side mirror, and I'm honking my horn, trying to get maybe his attention to get him to slow down, and maybe, you know, get the lady in front of us to maybe move. He hit us in a minivan, and he hit us hard enough. I was completely stopped, and he hit my great big SUV hard enough to push us 20 feet forward into the car in front of us and to move the car in front of us. And I rang my bell pretty good on the side window. I don't want to go through the motions because, you know, it might hurt. You know, and it had a little knot on my head, man. And when it was all said and done, my vehicle was still drivable. So we packed up our busted, broken, demolished bikes in the back, in the rack, and drove home. You know, the back window was all broken out, but at least we got it home. But within 20 minutes or so of leaving the scene, my head was hurting really bad, and you know, I was like, "Damn, this kind of sucks." Headache wouldn't go away, and my vision started getting blurry, and again, this is all within less than an hour, and I didn't feel good. Like I felt nauseous, and anyway, like great. 35 years plus, 40 years, I've been riding around on bicycles and skateboards and snowboards and whatever else. And I've never in my life had a concussion. And now I get rear-ended by some jackass looking at his phone, and that's what gives me a concussion from hitting my head on my friggin' driver's side window. So, you know, anyhow, I'd gone to the doctor, and you know, they asked me all the questions and did all things, and the doc was like, "Yeah, you have every single symptom of a concussion, so we'll sign off on that." And they scheduled some X-rays for me, you know, just to make sure my neck and my back were okay. But he also gave me a CT scan just to be sure, right? And so, you know, I went and had that done. And then last week when I went to the doctor, you know, they looked at the X-rays of my spine and whatnot. They're like, "Yeah, your neck's kind of whack, but we can get it back." And your back, yeah, you got this pelvic thing going on in your low back, and you know, it'll take some time, but we can sort that out. And then it kind of got real quiet, and the doctor was like, "Well, yeah, about that CT scan. There's something on it I don't like." And, you know, of course, I thought, well, I don't like that either. Because if you don't like it, that means it sucks real bad. And this is my head we're talking about. So it turns out in the CT scan, there's a dark area on the right side, which is where I've been having pain. And long story short, that could mean I have a hemorrhage. Some bleeding inside my brain, which often leads to brain damage. And I'm a single parent. I'm a sole parent. I got just in there. I had a 15-year-old son, you know, and the idea of having brain damage at the hands of some jackass is just willful negligence. Just scares the shit out of me, you know. But anyway, he was concerned enough that now I have an appointment to get an MRI done of my head so they can get a better look at what's going on. I'm going to see a neurologist, and it's some scary stuff, guys. It really is. It's kind of terrifying. But that's why I'm doing this video. because I want to talk to you guys about that. You guys know, or at least most of you know, I started this channel after beating all the odds. There's 0%, statistically 0% chance of surviving this blood disorder a couple of years ago that should have killed me. And I kicked its ass, you know, and here I am. You guys know I'm not going down until it's my turn to stay down, you know. That doesn't mean that I'm not afraid of what it could mean. But at the same time, I know it's not going to do anyone. It's not going to do me any good. It's not going to do my son any good, or anyone that cares about me. If I'm sitting here just like sweating, paralyzed with the thought of having brain damage, man. So as cliche as it is, I want to give you guys this message. The only time we ever have, ever, is right now. That's very literal, you know. So at some point, we all have something we got to deal with, you know. Whether it's loss of a job, whether it's a loved one suffering, you know, whatever it might be. Worrying and replaying the what ifs and projecting that out and then manifesting the worst doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything positive. The only time we have is right now. So whenever you guys get one of those things, one of those life events where you're just like, oh my God, how am I ever going to deal with this? How do I handle this? It's okay. That's okay to feel that way. But at some point in your day, separate yourself, you know, separate yourself from the world and take a deep breath, you know, pat yourself on the back for being there and be aware of that moment. Be aware of your right now. Right this minute, my head hurts. It sure does. Yes, it hurts constantly. But you know what? I'm on the back porch of my own home. Weather's not bad. I'm in the shade. My son's inside, happy as could be. We play video games. We're both fed. So right now, this minute, this one right here where I'm talking to you guys, this minute doesn't suck. And those are the moments, those are the thoughts that you hold on to when stuff's getting deep and it's getting harder to handle. You know? And I don't know how this is going to pan out. I don't. I don't know. If I end up with brain damage, then I do, you know? And yeah, the reality of it is, it could affect everything I do. Everything I've spent my life working towards and caring about. Everything I'm passionate about. It could jeopardize all of it. But at the same time, 0%. 2 years ago, I kicked its ass. So you just have to let this one unfold, and that's what I want to leave you guys with. I wanted to leave you guys with the message that when things get heavy and when things just feel just much, you know, take a minute and let that moment be good. Let it be remarkable, and see if it doesn't buy you enough time here to get to the next one, you know, to the next remarkable moment. It's not always going to be easy, so make it as remarkable as you can along the way. With that, guys, so thankful you sat and watched this and you listened to me. I hope something that I had to say resonates with you guys and you can take it forward and it can make a difference. That's all I hope for. So on that, happy Sunday. We'll see you out there.